Goldman Sachs planning to lay off up to 4,000 people. Sonali Basak's jumped on the phone for us. Sonali, I assume you've read through the story as well. What do you make of these headlines that have dropped in the last couple of minutes?
Yeah, 8% is what this would amount to, according to Semafor. That's about 4,000 people or so. Listen, remember, if you put this in a comparison, for example, what you saw at Morgan Stanley's percentage cut was about 2%. I'd say Goldman has expanded pretty drastically over a set of acquisitions and hiring over the last couple of years. We talked to David Solomon just a week ago, and he hinted that pruning would happen. So this puts a number around how deep pruning goes, thousands, not hundreds. This will go into early next year, according to Semafor. So this is in addition to the cuts we've already seen. Remember, if Goldman is doing this, you have to assume that other people are already also starting to think about whether it's time to start cutting some jobs after massive headcount increases the last couple of years. It's kind of very classic Wall Street behavior, isn't it? Hire a lot in the good times, and then before things get bad is when you start to prune.
Sonali, there's a real question, especially around Goldman Sachs, about whether this is going to be concentrated in the consumer-facing business, the Marcus operations, or whether it will be broad-based, including some of the investment banking units that have been incredibly successful. What's your sense, based on your conversations with leadership there?
So, listen, it's the conversation we had in good times was whether you want to put money towards technology or whether you want to put money towards people. And that conversation gets even more significant in bad times. So even at a trading desk, for example, my question would be for Goldman is, when you put that marginal dollar to work, are you going to put it to work at a star trader, or are you going to automate your processes more in fixed income or other places? That is the strategic decision you have to make in a hard time into next year while you're protecting your margins. And by the way, one may pay off more than the other. And so you have to assume that low performers across every business line are going to be taken a look at. And this is not going to be, from my understanding, just dedicated to Marcus. Although, remember, they did buy that business, Green Sky, in that consumer business that added 1,000 or so people in the last year.
Sonali, we've got about a minute left. Let's just take a step back. You caught up with the CEO of Goldman only a couple of weeks ago. Was there any indication of this, just thinking back to that conversation, any indication whatsoever that something like this was coming?
Totally. It was 1 week ago, John. I know this year is going really fast. But he did say, he said more pruning would be likely to come. And again, the 8%, you have to think about it in perspective here. It is more than what we're seeing at Morgan Stanley. It's more than what we have seen announced at Citigroup or Barclays. But it has to be a harbinger of things to come here on Wall Street, which is why people pay so much attention to Goldman at this time.